everyone.
I'm Naomi.
I'm Jack.
And welcome to our channel. Woo!
We're doing that again.
It's back.
It's our second go at filming this. So, we're here, refreshed, got our tea ready.
And you know I've got a hot water bottle.
Have you?
Of course.
Oh look, that's me. Hubs. So yeah, there might be some noises in this video because this chair I'm on is squeaky and Name's got a hot water bottle. Anyway, today, what are we talking about now?
We're going to tell you what's changed since being married.
We are now in February. So we got married in June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So 8 months of marriage. What's changed? We did a video a month or two after we got married, but this is more like what have we learned, how have we grown, how have things changed or not changed, with a bit more time to reflect.
Yep.
But before we start, you know what I'm going to say.
Make sure you
Like the video.
Make sure you
Subscribe, hit the bell, and then you know when we do videos, and then you won't feel guilty every time you watch our videos and you hear us say that. Give us something that's changed.
If you revert back to our old video, you hear me say that all the feminists are rolling in their graves as I become domesticated and just want to look after my darling husband. I'm sure all the feminists are dying in their graves, but I love serving my husband. I want to cook, I want to clean, I want to make sure he's happy, okay? And I never thought that would come out of my mouth. To an extent, still partially true.
You like it. You like the idea of it.
I like the idea of it, but the practical side of actually being that domesticated is quite difficult and something that was really fun for the first few weeks when you add uni work.
That's true, because our circumstances have changed as well quite a lot, because shortly after we got married, I was working full-time over summer, you were working part-time, but because I was working every day, you had more free time to cook and clean and that kind of thing. That dynamic has changed. The balance of our work has changed. I never expected that when we got married that you would do everything. I mean, I enjoyed doing things, but when we first got married, because we'd recently moved into Naomi's parents' house, it was just an adjustment for me, because I felt less comfortable going to use the family kitchen, so it was a bit more difficult for me to assume that role of doing domestic tasks in the house, because I think that there's an expectation that you would do it.
Yes, I think we have been quite dynamic in the fact that as our circumstances have changed, we have also changed. As you say, at the time when I was able to, I did cook, clean, serve. However, I think to a large extent as well in my culture, and I think a lot of cultures just in general, it is an assumed role for the woman to have, to be the one cooking and cleaning. And my mum's she's such an amazing woman. She is a wonderful wife, and she really takes pride in that role and does it well, and implores us as children to take on that role as well of looking after the husband and serving, and I can't knock her for it. That's what she finds pride in. It's just very difficult for me to fulfill the same shoes that she can. It was very much expected of me to be the one cooking and cleaning, and at times my mum would be like, oh my god, how are you allowing him to cook and clean? Which can be a bit frustrating, and that's also another problem with living at home, I guess, when you're married. But actually, as we've gone on, no one gives a damn. Jack can be in the kitchen. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just been an adjustment period all around, isn't it? I think actually that sort of leads on to something else about other people's expectations of marriage and then how that affects us and our marriage. I don't know about you, but like a lot of people like to give advice and opinions how they think a marriage should be, your marriage should be. There's definitely some things which they say which are useful and helpful and might apply to us, but then also every relationship's different. I sort of see it as like everyone's going to come with different opinions and different things, and you have to work out what actually then works for us. I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like one of the things that I've learned and what's changed with marriage is that we have to develop and work what works for us, and that's like a continual process. You shouldn't necessarily judge your marriage or your relationship against what other people have this idea or standard that marriage should be for you. You don't have to live up to other people's expectations of marriage. You have to work out your own and what is the best for you and your partner. Yeah,
honestly, we could do a whole video about advice that I think has been transformative for our relationship. All the things I've implemented over the last year's been with you, all the books that I've read that have honestly honestly made a physical difference in our relationship, because relationships are hard work. They are not passive. It's about who you are and how you curate that relationship to best suit your needs.
All right, to bring it back to the theme of what's changed after marriage then, what, if anything, do you feel like you've had to change or implement that's been different after the marriage versus before we got married?
But this isn't necessarily because we were married. It's just a chronological thing of what's happened.
All right, well, let's see where you go with it. But I'd be interested to see if you do think there are anything that is specifically related to the fact that we are married.
So, for example, we just spend more time together, so there's just a higher proportion and a higher probability that you will get on someone's nerves. One thing that I have put into practice from the books that I've read, he winds me up so much.
No, sorry, go on. I just thought that was a good opportunity. What have you read? Which book?
I started reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People isn't about relationships per se with your other half. I've just implemented what I've learned into our conversations. And I only pick it up every now and again, and I read bits of nuggets and then work on it for a month. And I've found that way of reading the book really amazing.
Yeah.
Not just reading it for the sake of reading, but actually making notes, implementing it. And one thing that I did implement into our relationship is I need to go back and redo this, but it worked really well. Never criticize. I try my utmost best since getting married to not criticize you and to always be quick to be grateful and thankful and show appreciation for the times that you do good things. I think that has helped our relationship quite a lot. It's hard and difficult in arguments to not criticize. I don't know, there was one time and I really let myself go and I was like, damn, this is not what Andrew Carnegie said. But
then also you can't necessarily just keep everything bottled up. I think.
But don't get me wrong, I communicate with you, but I don't criticise.
Yeah, you find other words to say, and I have noticed that, and I do like that. I think there have been certain times when I've thought, oh, I can tell what you're doing here, and I do feel like, oh, are you manipulating me? Like, you're being so nice, but I know this is from a book. But then actually, I see the point of it, and I think that in a lot of circumstances, it's been really good. I think there's a lot of stereotypes about like women being the emotional ones and men not. But like, I can be pretty sensitive, pretty irrational and emotional sometimes. So, and you doing these sorts of things, like not criticising or not whatever, especially like at key points when if you had said something, I might have got moody or upset or whatever, and then it could have potentially progressed into an argument. You're not doing that has been important. In the moment, it stops something from escalating, and it's something that doesn't necessarily need to escalate. It's just that state of mind that I might be in at that particular time means that if you reacted in one way, or if you said something in one way, then I would automatically get defensive. Think that relates to what's changed after marriage. I think we've always like worked hard to improve our relationship and improve our communication and generally grow. But I do think that specifically after getting married and like leading up to it, like once we were engaged and stuff, I do feel like we've taken our relationship building up a notch. I don't know about you. Do you feel like that? Or has it always been like that for you?
I guess perhaps I feel like since getting married, I've had to implement a lot more things because I've just felt that there's more things that I've learned to help me along the line. I don't know if that's because, the universe was like, here's some nuggets to help you. Or if I just purposefully sought those out because I was getting married, because we had got married.
Yeah.
When we were dating, I would read so many... What did we read? Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Great book. And implemented a lot of those things from that book.
Yeah, well, we both read it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We both read it, and then I think it helped a lot. And yeah, we did that. Was that before we were engaged? It was.
Yeah,
that was
ages before.
That was way before. So for you, it probably hasn't changed so much then?
I think I'm in a good space right now where I can really monitor my emotions and really control situations for me. But I don't know if that's because we've got married or it's because I've been building and layering and growing so that when we do argue, my ego is not no. I need to think, what is the intention behind what he's saying?
Yeah. All right, so here's a question then. From your perspective, do you think that I've changed in that regard?
Sorry, what was the question?
Is this you not criticising? Are you avoiding? Come back in frame for me. You've moved out of frame.
Do I think I need some water.
Are you really just avoiding the question that hard?
I don't understand the question. I haven't read the books I've read, so I can't say you. What is the question? I'm so confused.
Alright. Do you feel like my attitude towards our relationship and growing our relationship has changed, for better or worse? I mean, in terms of like our connection.
Spanner in the works with the term connection. I'm just going to pretend that word didn't come in because that
Okay.
makes me feel very confused. Oh, speaking of, my other married friend is calling. I probably won't call her. Speak to her. So, in the past few days, I have noticed that you have been super kind to me. As I say, I'm trying hard to really monitor my emotions, but the last couple of days, the communists and... Sorry. No one will understand what I mean when I say the communists have invaded. So the last couple of days, I've been quite emotional, quite hormonal, just because that's what happens around this time of month, sadly. And I am irrational and emotional, and you have been super nice to me, super kind. So when I'm throwing a fit and I'm just really upset, you haven't taken it to heart. You give me a cuddle and you've been really, really nice to me. And that has made so much difference. So I think, yeah, you've been working towards building this relationship, and I really appreciated that. No, I'm not tearing up. I'm not crying. No.
Okay, so 8 months of marriage, what's changed? I had 2 days of being nice to you.
Okay, so
I get. Should I help you out? Should I help you out?
I was going to take it somewhere, but
Oh,
go
no,
on,
no,
go
go-
on. You
no,
go.
no, come on,
I'd rather
take it-
hear. I
take
know
it where
what's
you
in my mind. I don't know what's in yours. I want to hear what you're saying. So.
Alright, basically where I was trying to lead you is because I think that potentially for me, I feel like I've taken things up a notch in terms of my attitude, my personal development, and also our relationship development. But I never feel like I neglected it. I feel like we've always worked on developing our relationship over the 5 years that we've known each other. And if you had asked me a year ago, do I think that I could be doing more? Like, I would have said that I was doing loads, and I already thought that. But I feel like now we're married, I feel like there's this subconscious thing which has changed, where I feel like even more invested in you and in us, an even greater desire to improve myself and our connection. And I wondered if you had noticed that, or if that's just more of an internal thing for me. Even the other day when you suggested that I went to go and get my own hobby, or a delegation of tasks across our businesses and different works and all these kind of things, I feel like I've just been more open and willing to like try and change and improve myself and like the prideful and negative aspects of myself, which whereas in the past I may have dismissed or not wanted to see that they were there, even if they're small, I feel like I'm more open to recognising the potential faults in my personality and attitude which may be detrimental towards our relationship, even on a small level, and try and improve those. That's what I mean.
I hear that. To give you guys a bit of context, last month maybe, we were just bickering. We were really at each other, and it was just a bit difficult. Not really difficult, but it was just difficult because we seemed to be arguing over not a lot, just really random stuff. So, like, for example, we were arguing about bacon and whether we should buy bacon or not. It was just random stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it any more to you. It was just weird. And I think something that came into my mind is you kept saying, I'm nagging you, or you felt like you always had to ask me to do stuff. And the way our relationship and our dynamic has worked since being married is we share everything. We share a bed. We share this room. We share this desk. We share our businesses. We share our finances.
Yeah.
We share absolutely everything. Even when you do something, you feel accountable to the other person. And you feel therefore that you're asking permission. Is how I saw it at the time. This is just my opinion and my reflections on the arguments we're having. So I think that then manifested itself into our arguments. And going back again to Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, I thought, and this is where I think that you did want to really have this bond with me, and you really wanted to give your most to the relationship. It came to a point whereby you didn't have a chance to recoil and be by yourself. You know, and it's not to say you didn't want to be with me or do the things that you were doing with me. You didn't want to share the company. You don't want to. You just. I think as individuals and as humans, we just need a bit of autonomy over one aspect. Men as well. It's not to say that when they need some time alone, it's because he doesn't want to spend time with me. And I think to some extent, maybe that was something hard for you to reconcile. Like, it's not to say you don't want to work with me on the businesses, and we still work together, but you just needed. I felt that that's what you needed. You just needed some autonomy.
I think you're fully right. Yeah.
And it was actually too much love that was problematic and not really...
Well, on both sides, it'd be difficult for me to admit to myself that, like, I needed a bit of space. Because, like you say, I do want to do all these things. I do want to be with you all the time. I do want to work on these things with you. There is, like a guilt. Well, it is a bit confusing, yeah. And maybe a bit of guilt or a bit of something when you think, no, actually, I do just need to, like, I don't know, play some PlayStation. Like, we don't even have a separate room in the house to go to. There's literally just nowhere, no breather, no nothing.
So basically, I suggested that he does an extracurricular activity that he just did for himself.
Outside of my marriage curriculum.
Yes, outside of your marriage, outside of your business, outside of me. Jack took up golfing, and then I also said we have a couple of businesses, BN if you guys know, which I'm basically taking head of.
CEO, baby.
And then Jack is taking hold of the other one. Oh, what you got there, Jack?
Funny you should ask. Some lip balms. Oh, it smells nice. It smells natural. It smells handmade.
Oh my god.
Nourishing?
So nourishing.
I really need to work on my winking. Yes, we're going to release a line of handmade natural lip balms.
Jack's been heading that up.
And we haven't forgotten you Christmas people who came up with the names for our cosmetic line. We will be in touch to send you a lip balm.
Yes. For all of you guys, some of you who've noticed, we've been like 2 months ago, you posted a comment and we're just replying back now.
Yeah, we're getting there. Sorry.
Oh, this lip balm is really good. Anyway, so I think sometimes you just need a bit of time and space to be an autonomous being because that's who you were before you met your other half.
Yeah.
And you get married and you spend all this time together and you just like smush. But you need to unsmush.
Sometimes.
We need to unsmush.
Sometimes.
So that's something that's changed. So we were just like, and now we're a little bit untangling and unmeshing.
But then so we can come back and smush.
Even more.
Yeah. I think actually there's so much stuff that we could have talked about in this video and we haven't. We're running out of space on our cards. We could bullet point some other things that have changed and we can make some videos about them in another time. So yes, friendships or lack thereof or changing relationships with friends and stuff is definitely something that's changed. So we'll make another video about that. Finances, we've talked about that a bit before, but yes, just our finances are fully entwined. What else has changed, babe?
So we're still living at home for you guys who know.
Yeah.
And the way we feel about living here has changed. So we'll make another video.
Anything else?
I think overall for us, we have had to accommodate to each other. We haven't just got married and everything has stayed the same. Things have had to change to make room and make space for your partner.
Yeah.
And it's about compromise and it's just a wonderful experience to feel safe and secure, but it is hard work.
It is. I'd like to just close out with basically saying that I don't think that it's fundamentally different being married or not. I feel like it is a next level, it's a progression.
I'm sorry, it's different. Don't let any of these young boys fool you and say you don't need to get married, it's the same.
No.
It is not the same.
I'm not saying you don't need to, I'm saying get married. But my point is, if there was issues or something in your relationship before, they're not going to go away when you get married. Like, it's not just a fix-all for things. Like, you need to be on a trajectory already before marriage, and then when you get married, then you can, it's like an exponential growth together. But like, it's not
a
gonna
plaster.
Yeah, it's not going to fix. Like, if you need to have a solid foundation before you get married, and then that then you can build on that together, because that's what you're building on. So anyway, we're gonna run out of time.
Hope you like that. If you did, make sure you like
it, subscribe,
and turn on that notification bell.
Yeah, and if you have anything to say about marriage or anything we spoke about, let us know down below. We always love to hear, love to read. Yeah, hope you enjoyed our sort of rambling video.
Alright guys, until next time. Bye. Right. It's really been 3 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm in the zone now. Because we got a